Hello, I'm James from Games Radar, and I am joined by Rich Edwards, the editor of SFX magazine. Hello, Rich.
Hello.
Hello, and we are going to look at Rey's flashback now from The Force Awakens in detail. Now, this has just come out. The digital edition is out now on the iTunes store. You can go and download it. And there's a lot to say, right, Rich?
Well, yeah, this was one of the big talking points of The Force Awakens. It's a lot of sound, a lot of vision sort of mashed into a very small space, and you couldn't really get a true sense of it in the cinema. And now, of course, out on home entertainment formats, we can actually break it down and look at it properly.
So let's start with the first scene that we get when Rey transports herself into the corridor where Luke and Darth Vader duel in Cloud City.
Well, I think that's quite an important thing, because this lightsaber that she touches obviously belonged to both Anakin Skywalker and Luke Skywalker, so it's probably got a lot of their essence in it. And the very first thing you hear when she touches the lightsaber is actually Darth Vader breathing. So that's in there. And then, of course, yes, there's that corridor from Cloud City where they had the duel. And that's where Luke had his hand cut off, and the lightsaber fell into the bowels of Cloud City to be picked up somehow. But I guess we're going to find out how it actually got from there to Maz Kanata's castle in the next movie.
And there was rumours that originally in the Force Awakens, this scene was going to have Rey walk down the hallway to see that event and look out of a window to see it, like Luke and Darth having a fight. So that would be quite nice. Maybe that's in the deleted scenes.
It's the way that it collapses, I think, is quite interesting. Because basically she's in this industrial sort of Cloud City, and then you see this rock coming over and it's collapsed. I mean, that might just be metaphorical, I guess, but it's quite a powerful visual, and it sort of automatically transports her to this other world where we meet Luke. Now, this is actually quite a famous shot from the movie, because Luke with R2-D2, touching him with the metal hand, that was in one of the very first trailers. So it's not a new scene, but I think this gives it kind of more context.
And you have a theory that we're going to pick up on later on when we see the Knights of Ren a bit later, that this could be from the same location.
Well, yeah, I think our initial thought was seeing all these sparks flying up, that it must be a volcano planet like Mustafar in Revenge of the Sith. But I'm actually wondering now if he's just standing by a fire, because obviously you see this rain pouring down. It does sort of tie into the scene we're going to look at in a sec. Here she sees a man, we're assuming one of Luke's Jedi trainees, having a red lightsaber sort of shoved through the gullet. And this looks like the Knights of Ren, led by Kylo Ren, sort of turning on Luke's Jedi pupils, which we kind of know happened.
Mm-hmm. So this is from the past, basically, back from...
Yeah.
Like it's a scene that's happened already.
Yeah, so this will have been a few years earlier. We know that Kylo Ren was Ben Solo, or Ben Solo Organa. He turned on Luke's pupils. You can see loads of bodies on the floor there. This planet is very, very damp, lots of rain. I wonder if that scene with R2 and Luke is actually Luke. Maybe it's a funeral pyre, because there is a sort of hint of sadness there. Maybe he's realised, oh God, this happened, and this is him commemorating the event almost. Presumably, the very beginnings of Kylo Ren, this is where he's turned.
And then we jump to Jakku.
Yeah.
And this is young Rey that we see now, being abandoned, presumably.
Yeah, well, that's what it certainly looks like. I mean, she's being held there by Unkar Plutt, who's the kind of... how would you describe it? Like, I suppose, a criminal boss on Jakku, played by Simon Pegg. It was who she had to buy food from throughout the movie.
It's the one we see her taking all of her scrap metal to.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because obviously, would she remember that she's been left with this guy, but she's still coming back to him and giving him... Is it some kind of insurance thing that she works for him now? I
don't know, or maybe it's just she has no choice. I mean, there's not much on Jakku, and she's obviously independent. I mean, she lives by herself. She's in that sort of wrecked AT-AT, but at the same time she needs to get food, and I don't think it doesn't look like a sort of world where there's a lot of food, and so she's basically scavenging to get credits to eat. But I mean, this is quite a powerful scene, I think. The way that the sort of young Rey is screaming, sort of, don't leave, and it's this guy saying, quiet girl, and sort of looking up at this spaceship. Obviously, it looks to me like whoever's left her is someone that she loves or has a relationship with, and that she's been abandoned.
And the next shot we see then is the ship flying away. Now, this isn't a ship that we've seen before. We're not familiar with it.
It doesn't look like particularly special, like one of the really characteristic ships. I mean, it looks like a fairly standard shuttle, though, of course, if it had anything to do with Han and Leia, this could have happened after they've lost the Falcon, or Luke could have acquired another ship. So I wouldn't read too much into the fact that we don't know what the ship is. I mean, if it was the Falcon, I think we'd read a lot more into it.
Yeah, okay. But it flies into what looks like could symbolise like Kylo Ren's mask.
I've been kind of looking at this quite a lot, and the way that this sort of closes down to a window, it's a weird, it's a sort of red window. It's a weird thing to put in there for no reason. It must mean something, and the kind of red is very similar to a lightsaber, Sith lightsaber red, and the shape seems to close in on something very similar to Kylo Ren's eyepiece on his mask. That's the closest thing I can find. And then we sort of move on to a shot which kind of suggests the future, that this is Kylo Ren on Starkiller Base at the end of the movie. And this sort of suggests that this is a mixture of past, present, future, of all these people sort of brought together.
Now, we mentioned at the beginning there were some voices that you could hear when Rey initially touches the lightsaber. There's not just Darth Vader in there as well, though, we've also got Obi-Wan and a bit of Yoda.
And Luke. Basically everyone who's the sort of key players who are Force sensitive seem to all be in there. I think that's one of the things you perhaps didn't notice first time you watched it. I think I read it after my first viewing, and then sort of when I watched it again, it's like, ooh, that's interesting. So yeah, there's obviously the Darth Vader breathing. There's Luke screaming no when he's found out that Darth Vader is his dad in Empire Strikes Back. There's Yoda. There's a bit of dialogue. I think Frank Oz did re-record a bit, but I'm not sure if they used. I think they used a lot from the original movies. I mean, there's a line about. It's loads to talk about the Force. Its energy surrounds us and binds us. It's a line from The Empire Strikes Back. They've got Ewan McGregor in to read a line. So they say, "Rey, you've taken your first step." So there's a bit of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and we've even got a bit of Alec Guinness. And there's a line where he says, "You will be tempted," which is a line from The Empire Strikes Back, and also where they're really clever. You actually hear Alec Guinness saying Rey.
Good bit of editing.
It's a clever bit of editing because they took it from a bit from the first movie where he says afraid. Absolute genius.
Okay, so that's the secret of Rey's flashback. Thank you very much, Rich. That's very informative. If you'd like more Star Wars information, then don't forget to stay tuned to GamesRadar.com. Don't forget to subscribe for more entertainment, news, reviews, previews, and features right here on Games Radar Plus.